Dylan and all those guys, and Neil Young, and then about 6 years ago, that might have been 5 years ago, I wrote that song. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote Old Joe White, and that was the first song that I wrote that was of that type of music. And really, what it's about is it's a Civil War. I pictured it in my head being a Civil War, a fella going down south to join, it says, the King's Army. You're talking about the southern, the rebel states and whatnot, and
right.
and he follows down there, and the trick to the whole story was, at least I figured it out myself at the end, is that it's actually Old Joe White's a friend of the guy writing the letter back and forth between the son, and he's writing the story telling his son about a friend of his and how he went on and whatnot, and then his son's repeating back, come back home, mama's growing
right.
cold, all these things, and so it's just turned into a big letter between a father and a son,
yeah.
and once again, I didn't go into that intentionally saying this is what it's going to be, but a lot of times that's just how it happens. You start off writing a verse and you're like, okay, now this is starting to make sense.
Yeah, and you can ask Scott Miller; he'll swear by it. Everybody's got to have at least one good Civil War tune, or you're not
that's
really
right.
a recording artist, especially of the folk genre or Americana or whatever you want to call it. So just a great tune, and one that, again, right off the bat, I heard it and I'm like, wow, that's hitting, that's big, that's huge, it's got this great sound, it sounds good on the radio, as the radio people say, right. And it caused our phone to light up, and so that's a win-win for everybody. And that's the one when folks would ask me, well, what do these people like? What do they sound like? I would send them a link to that song, and I would put it up, and people would just be like, whoa, that's just so cool. But one of the stumbling blocks, at least it was for a minute, obviously our DJs, very new, they don't get out as much as they will soon. They don't see bands as much as they do after they start here. When they start here, it's kind of like, mandatory. You go see these bands, you hear them, and then it's like, well, I got to go see them. So we did have to put in parentheses besides your band name, Guy Marshall, a band, not a person. So because at first they were like, that's his Guy Marshall and his Lewin and blah, blah, blah. So we've put that, disclaimer in there. But obviously that is a name that means, especially a lot to you, right, Adam?
It does.
Tell folks where that came from, where your band name came from.
Guy Marshall came from, well, first of all, we had been practicing for about 3 months and playing all these songs in our buddy Jamie's basement, and we'd been thinking, we had no idea what to call it. So we'd started playing a long time, of course, before any name came about. And we were out camping a couple years ago, and my mom was around the campfire with us and Jamie and a lot of friends and whatnot, and she started talking about my papaw, and and she started saying his name, and I never realized that his middle name was Marshall, and his name's Guy Marshall Shirley was his name. He's a fantastic man too, and he was one of a figure in my life that I kind of saw as Superman, that type, higher than high type thing, and all
papaws should be.
That's right. That's right. And he was for sure. And so he was a big fisherman and just a great guy. He loved the world around him more than anybody I knew and stuff. And so it was just it just made sense. And Guy Marshall's one of the coolest names that I've ever heard in my life. I was like, man, that is. I've been trying to talk Serena into naming our first son Guy. And,
boy, now that could get confusing.
I'm a baby off the hook.
Before we get you to do one more, tell us about a record. It's something all of us around here at the station are like, when are they going to put a record out? When are they going to make an album? So we're going to wait till Christmas, or what are we, we're ready when you are. Let's put it like that. When are you ready? When can we expect the first Guy Marshall album to drop, maybe?
Well, we're about, I would say in the process of everything, we're about 35% done with it, and we're going to try to get another 30% done with it in the next couple of weeks by getting those vocals behind it. So, and then, so basically what we're doing, if I can go through the process a bit of it,
sure,
is we've done the backlining, meaning we've done the drums and bass and the acoustic guitar. And now we're going to go in and sing over it, and we're thinking about doing that this weekend for part of the songs, and probably trying to do it in a timely manner. And we're doing all this at our buddy and our bassist Jamie Aiken's house, and he's a fantastic. He knows how to get them sounds. So
he mixed the first one.
That's right. Yeah, the first one. He mixed the first one and did a fantastic job, and we're actually putting a lot more heart and effort into this one. So we're hoping that it will exceed the standards that we've already already set. So.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, and I know one of the reasons I got turned on to you guys was the bassist preceding him, who was Johnny Wright.
That's right.
Who's
Johnny
a dear
Wright.
friend of mine and goes way back with me, and a guy whose musical tastes I trust, 110%. And when I see Johnny picking up a bass to play with somebody, I'm like, okay, I need to listen to this somebody and see what they're about. So it's cool that Johnny was there, in the early days as well. And
yeah, he helped shape a lot of the songs as well, Jamie, and those guys, those original, especially 4 songs on that demo, they really helped. We helped them kind of become what they were.
And they made good pie out there, and I love New York pizza.
That's right. That's right.
Guy Marshall live in studio on 90.3 The Rock, finally telling us when to expect an album. Are you guys going to do one of those Kickstarter campaign things, you think, and try to raise a little money to put it out? Or, if you do, obviously we'll be putting it up on our Facebook page and stuff too. But, there's such a DIY approach now, and you can do that because everything can be done on your own. But is that something you look to maybe help do to kind of kickstart it literally, or are you about there really?
We've thought about doing that because in the recording process, because Jamie, in the good graces of him, he's allowing us to do that, and he's doing it for basically free in the way of recording it because we don't have the finances obviously to go to Nashville or go to even to Knoxville to one of these nice recording studios. So right now it's by the grace of Jamie that we're even getting as far as we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been talking about it. It costs a lot of money to package a CD. So and do a lot of other things that Jamie's not going to do in the way of he doesn't have a printing press either. I wish he did, but
well, we'll keep our eyes open on the internets, and when that happens, and if you're asking for some dimes about it, we'll definitely help do that with you as well. So
I'm gonna do what we're gonna try to make the old Joe White of the last album. It's Cowboy Ballad for you guys to put on the radio at some point.
Okay, cool. All right.
So we'll do that just to have a good fun time.
Right on. Here's Guy Marshall live on 90.3 The Rock and UTTV, The Rock Unplugged.
Still railroad train, come and pick me up, let's go down rusty tracks. Said I would dine with oil men and old fat cats. They're sipping on their whiskey glass. Then a 3-piece band plays in the corner while the young ones dance, just swinging back and forth in each other's hands. They're having the time of their lives. And everybody wants to be a cowboy. No one wants to wear the silver star. I said Gene and Roy have moved on to be outlaws, and they don't care anymore. They don't care anymore. They don't care anymore. I wear gray black suit, a pocket watch and cigars for me and you. Let's lean back into your chair and listen to them tunes. If only I were lucky enough. Then we'll jump the tracks onto a dirt road. I figured that the good things never last. sitting in his chair. He's thinking about when and everybody, and everybody wants to be a cowboy. No one wants to wear the silver star. I said Gene and Roy have moved on to be outlaws. Oh, yeah. And they don't care anymore. 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 We'll sing it slow for him, Gal. And everybody wants to be a cowboy. No one wants to wear the silver star. Gene and Roy have moved on to be outlaws. They don't care anymore.
Little cowboy ballading for your Monday afternoon. That is great stuff. In studio live, Adam and Serena McNulty, oft disguised as Guy Marshall on stage. You guys sound great. You're doing so well, and you're getting better every time I hear you and see you, and you're just such great people to work with. And we're so happy to have you here, and we're so proud to play your music. And you're a great part of what is an awesome music scene in Knoxville. And so we appreciate everything you do to make sure everybody else out there can come find you. How do they find you on the internet? You got the Facebooks, you got all that stuff. Tell folks how to do that, Miss Ma'am. You were pointed at, by the way. So.
Yeah.
I was pointing at her because she does all those things and does a fantastic job.
Yes, she do.
If those things were not done by her, they would not be done.
All right. Now that's a wife.
It is.
I put a whole bunch of time into this crazy website. It's finally, actually, I really am happy with it. And it is www.guymarshall.net. And as soon as we know if a show is booked, it's on the calendar on there. We're playing quite a bit around here, but we're really working on getting in surrounding areas in the region and stuff.
Good.
So that's all on there. And then the best way to stay in touch with us is our email sign-up list. It's on there. And that way everyone is well informed when we have new things, including the album.
Yes.
And then our Facebook page is also a great way to know what's going on. I post that quite frequently. It's facebook.com/Guy Marshall Music.
All right.
So.
And I can see you guys doing really well regionally. I could see the folks up at Down Home in Johnson City eating you up. And I could see like the Gray Eagle in Asheville just, hitting with what they do. So if there's anything we could do to help that, we'd love to help grease that wheel. So Guy Marshall live in studio. Thank you guys so much. I'm so glad we finally got to do this.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We look forward to it again. Hopefully when that new record's out, we'll invite you back. So how does that sound? Or maybe even before. So continue success. Keep up the great work. Keep making our job easier by making great music. So we do appreciate that. It's Guy Marshall live on 90.3 The Rock and UTTV, The Rock Unplugged. Stick around. More music on the way as we quickly approach this 5 o'clock hour on a Monday afternoon.